Let's go to Puerto Rico for 7 days. We pretty much cover the whole island with San Juan, Vieques, Yauco, and Rincon, coast to coast. Day 1 was a travel day for the most part. After I picked up the car, I went straight to late lunch at La Casita Blanca. Great food and would highly recommend. Then later we grabbed cocktails at Jungle Bird, which was exactly the vibe we were looking for. And day 2, we start off the day with a nice stroll around Old San Juan to our car. And we head over to grab some breakfast sandwiches from Pinky's. And then we made our way over to El Yunque National Forest. El Yunque National Forest is the only tropical rainforest in the U.S. National Forest System, with an average rainfall of 120 inches per year. Daily rain showers are expected, as you'll see later in this video as well. This was our car, a Bronco Sport. Such a cute color. A quick side story. When I first went to pick up the car from the airport, the rental company gave me a 7-seater SUV, and I was kind of excited because I was like, wow, such a big car. Then my friend told me that the streets of Old San Juan specifically are pretty narrow and tight, so try to get a smaller car. And I'm so glad that there was a smaller car, because I'm not sure if we would have been able to maneuver the streets as well if we had the bigger car. We went to the waterfall first, and then we went up Mount Britain at El Yunque. The parking was a bit hectic. There was only around 200 parking spots for the main hike, so you'll have to wait in this sort of overflow parking before you can get to the actual parking area. And sometimes the overflow parking will be full as well. So it's all about luck and timing. After El Yunque, we drove to Luquillo Beach, and we went to the Luquillo Kiosks, and specifically we went to Teruno, where the food was pretty good, so I would recommend. Then we went out for drinks, and one of the places that we went to was this bar called La Factoria, and fun fact, it was where the music video for Despacito was filmed. It was a pretty big bar with different sections. One was a candle room, and another area was like a live music area. Day 3, we walked around to see more of Old San Juan, and we saw Castillo San Felipe del Moro, which is a large fortress and citadel in the historic district of Old San Juan. There were also so many cats everywhere, which was really cute, and the colors of the buildings were so fun. There was so much beautiful architecture everywhere. There was also this amazing bakery called Spiga. I can't recommend it enough because we kind of regretted not grabbing more for later. Their baked goods were so good, and the only thing to keep in mind is their business hours, so make sure to check before you go. This day we were headed to Vieques, a Caribbean island off Puerto Rico's eastern coast, via a 40-minute ferry ride from Ceiba. So we left our car in the Ceiba parking lot for the days we would be in Vieques, and then we rented a separate car to drive around in Vieques. The ferry tickets are around $6 Canadian for a round trip, so I would recommend doing this instead of a plane. Something to note is that it is hard to buy the tickets online, but I'll talk about this more in the description of the video. There were so many wild horses on our way to the Caracas beach, and this was my first time on a Caribbean beach, and the water was so nice, everything was so perfect. After watching the sunset, we went to Nativo for some dinner, and we called it a day. Day 4, for breakfast, we went to the Rising Roost, and it definitely lived up to its name. There were roosters walking around the patio everywhere, and the food was also amazing, so I would recommend. And we asked the waitress for some recommendations for their favorite beach, so we went beach hopping after our meal, and the first stop was La Chiva Beach, and the water was so clear, so perfect. The sand was perfect, and I would say this was my favorite beach out of the whole trip. I forget which number we went to, but the entrances to the beaches are numbered, so if you don't like a certain part of the beach, I would drive around to see if you like another part of the same beach. Our second beach was Sunbay Beach, where we caught the sunset and then went for dinner before our night activity of the bioluminescent bays. We booked with Abe's Snorkeling and Bio Bay Tours, and I would recommend the tour company. It was super fun and so magical. I would highly recommend the activity if you're going to Vieques in general, and if you're going to Puerto Rico, I would go to Vieques just to go to the bioluminescent bays. The bioluminescent bay we went to was a mosquito bay, and the organisms that are in the water are called dinos, and there is a longer scientific name, but I'm not going to try to pronounce that. These dinos produce a bright burst of blue light when it comes into contact with another organism or moves around. So here's us putting our hand in the water. From the meetup point, they'll take you in a car to where the kayaks are by the water, where you'll have 2 people per kayak, and because it is a kayak, your lower half might get wet, so dress accordingly. And we were trying to get the colors on camera, but it definitely doesn't do it justice, and it's so much more magical in person. Day 5, we get back to Ceiba from Vieques via the ferry, and then we stop by a cafe for a quick breakfast. We are headed to Rincon this time. We took the toll roads and it came out to be just over 20 Canadian dollars after the whole trip. So I would recommend you just take the toll roads. It does save you travel time. On the way to Rincon, we stopped by Yauco. It's known as Puerto Rico's coffee capital, and they have this area called Yauco. In September 2017, Hurricane Maria devastated the island, and there was a need to revitalize the town. And that's when Yauco, a public art project, began. And currently, the project has 4 editions and more than 60 works of art that turned the town center into this open-air art gallery. Then we stopped to watch a sunset by the beach. We definitely tried to catch a sunset every night of the trip, and I think we were quite successful. Sand crabs. Dinner by the water as well. It would have been great if it was brighter out to see the water, but we got there a bit too late, but we could still hear the sound of the water, so it was very nice. Day 6, we did a crash boat experience, and it was such an amazing, action-packed experience. I'll leave a link in the description below of the company that we booked with. The tour guides were so friendly, so good with taking all our videos and pictures throughout the day with our phones. Our tour guide was a pelican friend / whisperer, so he was able to show us some cool tricks that the birds can do. They're quite heavy when they sit on your head. And when we did the cliff diving, it actually felt so much higher in person than what was captured in the video. So pro tip would be to cover your nose and keep your body straight when you're diving. The remainder of the boat ride was so fun, and we went to this dock where we could go snorkeling and jump off the dock as well if we wanted to. I couldn't really get underwater footage of the snorkeling, but now, there's only one way to find out, and it's to go to Rincon yourself. The color of the water is this beautiful blue turquoise, and Rincon is known as the town of beautiful sunsets as it's located on the westernmost tip of Puerto Rico. Rincon is also globally recognized as a surfing destination for its consistent high-quality waves. For dinner, we went into the city to grab food. And this is day 7. It's our last day, so we're driving from Rincon to San Juan to catch our flight. And we stopped by this cute cafe to grab some coffee. This was the food in the airport lounge. I managed to also catch the sunset from the plane, which was beautiful, and it was such a good ending to a wonderful trip. Thank you for watching, and if you made it this far, I hope this video will help with your trip planning to Puerto Rico, and bye for now.